Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Ashley, here, sending my love to you from whatever reality I'm in today, to whatever reality you happen to find yourself in. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the seriously strange. I've been looking online, obviously, since I've become Mandela affected, at all kinds of really weird, strange shit. Now, it feels a lot of the time like we're living in some kind of a sci-fi movie, but it's not just that. It's the seriously strange is happening, and it's being captured. It's being captured on film. I made a video earlier on, a few weeks ago, I think, where I was talking about shadow people and the man in the black hat and things like that are being captured more and more. But there are also really weird things that are being caught in everyday situation, and things like, for instance, one of the weirdest ones of all is a tree that grew through a car. And it literally grew through a car. Not over time, not over years being left abandoned. No, this is in the middle of Italy. In the middle of Italy. And there's a car and a tree has grown up through it. And you know, they're filmed underneath and you can see the tree has come up through, and it's a full grown tree through the middle of a modern day car, as if the car's parked there and reality changed and a tree popped up through where the car is. Now, I'm going to try and find the links to anything that I mention on this video. I'm going to try and find the links to so you can have a look for yourself. So that is, that still freaks me out, really, because that clearly, it shouldn't be happening, should it? A tree cannot grow through a car from the bottom up. It's not like it was plonked through it. You can see it growing out of the ground from underneath. Now, that is a reality that can't be, isn't it? So that has to be something to do with the Mandela Effect, without a doubt, I think. So yeah, I'll try and find it and leave the link down below for that, because, you know, there's loads of people stood around it taking pictures of it and videos of it, because it's gobsmacking, literally gobsmacking, in the middle of Italy. There are other things like I've seen another thing about a tree. There's a floating tree. I think it's in somewhere. It might be Russia or Eastern Europe or Eastern European country. I'm not sure, but it shows two young boys, about teenagers, I think, walking down a lane, and there's a tree floating. Only a small one. It's not a big oak tree or anything. It's a small tree, like about that wide, maybe, on the opposite side of the road to them, and it's floating. So the boy goes up to it and shoots with the camera the video, so you can see right through this floating tree. That shouldn't be happening. What is that about? Reality is changing in many different ways. Now, I'm going to go back to the Hopi prophecy, because I speak about the Hopi prophecy quite a lot. When it first was revealed to me, it talked, the very first thing that was revealed are all the reality changes. It's the only thing I've ever read or seen where they talk about actual reality changes, and it speaks in that about things that we've never seen before being here, which are the mandanimals, as we call them, things from the past coming back, and also all manner of things that can't be explained. Now, I made a video about myths and legends and how I believe the Mandela Effect is bringing, you know, our myths and legends about fairies and goblins and things like that. I think they're real. I think that, you know, dragons, I think they're part of another reality. I do. I think that this is... Now, don't get me wrong, I would never have thought that if I wasn't Mandela affected. But I am. And I've seen videos of, like, weird dragons. They look like weird dragons flying. There's no explanation for it. It's clearly not CGI. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't believe everything I look at and go, oh yeah, that's definitely that. But some things you just cannot deny that there it is. It's freaky, it's fucked up, and it's real, and it's happening there, and somebody's actually been on the scene at the time and caught it. So we've got a tree that's grown through a car, a tree that literally is suspended in midair. All kinds of strange mythical creatures are being caught on camera at the moment. Things like pixies, lots of pixies and goblins. I mean, lots. Not just a few, lots of pixies and goblins are being caught on camera. Whereas I do think that some might be CGI, there are definitely others that you can quite clearly see aren't CGI. And there's a man actually in England, I can't remember what he's called, I'll link to him. He has been in a forest where he lives. There's loads of pixie type things. He keeps, he keeps setting up the camera, and he's sat there like this with his camera, and then at the back of him, there's a little creature comes out, has a look, and bobs away again. That it's happening more and more. People are capturing the weirdest things. There's been a spate of toys coming to life. Toys coming to life. Now, I remember as a child, you used to get excited, and I used to believe wholeheartedly that my toys came to life at night time. Not a problem to me. That's what toys do. Well, they are doing. They are doing. Toys are now coming to life. They're moving on their own. A lot of them. Not just one or two. A lot of them. And it's not just, it could have fallen over. It's literally turning heads. Literally turning its head. And there are so many of those sorts of videos where toys are moving. And, I mean, living with the Mandela Effect as we know it is hard. But at the moment, I mean, the Hopi prophecy talks about all dimensions all merging into this, because this is the final, entering into the fifth and final world. And we know that we're moving into that world because it's changing all the time. We're not in the same world we were before. We can see the geographical changes. So we know that we are actually moving into the fifth world. So if you know that, surely you have to have an open mind about everything else that's happening on the planet. Whatever the planet is, whatever this is, there's all manner of weird, fucked up, strange shit going down. Really weird shit, where things that we thought were myth and legend and, old stories about fairies. There are fairies that have been caught. Now, with the fairies, I'm always a little bit, because of fairies, but there are some that I do believe are actual fairies caught on camera, because it's the reactions of the people. It's the reactions of the people for a start. And in some cases, the clarity of what you're actually seeing. It's like, there's no way. There's no way. I mean, and these creatures, like, some of them, obviously, we've seen things like what they call cryptids, all kinds of manner of weird demon looking. I mean, and that's another thing. Demons seem to be all over the place at the moment. Demons. Now, I didn't really ever used to believe in them. I'll be honest, I didn't. I mean, I believed in hell, but I didn't really believe in demons as such, because they can't possibly be real, can they? Well, yeah, they can. And seemingly they are, because there's so many videos out there of demons, dark spirits, horrible things. Sends shivers down the spine. So we have to realise, I do believe that, you see, I'm trying to document, this is my private journey, and it's about the things that I've discovered, the things that I feel, how I'm dealing with stuff. But it's also about the things that I find, the things that I put together. I'm trying to put things together and piece it. And I don't think that we can actually think about the Mandela Effect without taking into consideration all the fucked up freaky shit that's going down. I mean, I mentioned in my last video about the living, breathing, reproducing rocks. What the fuck? When the rocks actually grow and reproduce. We cannot, as Mandela affected people, discount these things, I believe. If we do that, then we're not going to ever get the full picture, because there's been an influx. I mean, people appearing and disappearing on screen. I mean, literally in the back of live news, people are appearing and disappearing. I mean, come on, it's like they're in our reality, and then they've blended into a different one as they're crossing the road. we cannot, as Mandela affected people, discount that as being part of the Mandela effect, because it clearly shouldn't be happening. Reality changing is changing in a weird way, where it seems that it's not only our things that we recognise, but it's our myths, our legends, our fables seem to be, our fears, our nightmares seem to be manifesting here. And surely we have to really take that seriously. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do about it. We say take it seriously. I don't know what we're going to do about it, but there's too much evidence out there of these things being caught on camera. And as we've discussed in the past, we did yesterday on the live that we were on for 10 hours, there are things going on in this world that we cannot explain, things that shouldn't be happening, and we must incorporate all of it, as much of it as possible, into our story. And yet again, I do believe there's some absolutely freaky shit going down. There's and also as the internet connects us over realities, because we know that we're not in the same reality at the same time, and as the internet connects us over realities, it seems that digital cameras and the internet are able to capture things that in the past we wouldn't have been able to. You know, sometimes people don't even see things in front of them when they're actually filming themselves. It's only later that they see some apparition behind them, or something happens while they're filming. And so the amount of things that happen when people are filming their children is unreal. And, you know, reality is changing, and it seems to be bringing in things that we classed as being, you know, in our pompous, arrogant way, like, oh, that was just stories from the past from people that were like a bit thick. You know, they weren't as sophisticated as us. They weren't as knowledgeable as us. They weren't as civilized as us. And yet here we have overwhelming amounts of evidence that it's actually happening. And yeah, I'm taking it seriously now. Reality's changing. We cannot discount these things. Anyway, I want to know what you think. Have you seen these things online? Have you experienced anything like that for yourself? Let me know in the comments, please, because I want to know if any of you out there have actually had these sort of things. I do know Colette said yesterday about hearing the trumpets in the sky, and there's been an awful lot of that. Different noises and sounds around the world. In fact, Jerusalem, there was an actual trumpet sound blowing in Jerusalem not long ago. I think that was the 23rd of September last year, I think, from what Anne Della said. But this is, I think we're, as a Mandela Effect community, if we don't take these things into consideration, I think we're losing part of the story. Anyway, on that note, lovely people, I hope you've been able to hear me above all the banging and crashing and dogs and life outside. If not, I'm sorry. So until then, next time, lovely people, thank you so much for your love, your support, sharing your stories, your experiences with me. Richard Parker has got some amazing things that he was talking about, which I will be hopefully talking with him about in the not too distant future, because they are, it adds an extra dimension to our story. I've never heard anybody say about the things that Richard has said, so thank you, Richard, and I hope to be talking to you soon about that. But for the meantime, lovely people, thank you all for your love, kindness, and my love to you all till next time.